Hello and welcome back everyone to episode 19. Our struggle to bring KoRail to the Tour de France continues, but we're not quitting at any point here. This is our goal and we will definitely achieve it at some point, however many seasons it will take. Starting this episode off here with the Tour of Lithuania, 5 stages here for us in this race. All of them are flat, so a perfect opportunity for our sprinters to prove themselves. Can we achieve a victory here in these 5 stages? Obviously, we have a very good sprinting team, so we should be able to win a lot of these stages, and that's what I'm counting on. Next up, we have the Tour de Gyeongnam, a Korean race, obviously a race that we want to be victorious in, as well as it is our home race, our national race. So that is definitely what we want to achieve here, a victory and nothing less. Hoping to score well here with our team. 3 hilly races, however, so it's not necessarily our forte, but it should still end well. We'll bring our top riders there. And last but certainly not least, it is the Yellow River Estuary, a 2-day stage race, a Chinese race. You don't see 2-day stage races a lot. Either it's a 1-day stage or it's like 3 or 4 at the minimum. So 2-day stage races, both of them are flat. We'll see how that goes here in this episode. Let's quickly start it off here with the first stage of the Tour of Lithuania. A flat stage, perfect for our sprinters.
Greetings to all. The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton. The weather conditions are excellent.
The weather conditions are excellent, and it doesn't really reflect in the statistics of our riders. I would say Carpentier here with a +1 at least, but Kral, our main sprinter here in this tour, having some minus statistics. So it's not really the best start for this tour for us, but we'll see how it goes. We'll obviously defend Kral here in this stage, and we have some in-between sprint points, but there is already a breakaway away, and we're not really part of this breakaway, so I'm hoping that we can neutralize the breakaway here with Turnbull. You see him already up front trying to do an attack, trying to achieve something, but you know, he doesn't really get loose from this group. The peloton, however, looks quite hell-bent on bringing this group back, so that's positive for us. And that means that we might be able to sneak away here in this breakaway. Kral, our main rider of this tour, having a very poor second part of this season, or second quarter, I should probably say, of this season. Not really performing like Fietzke is, for example, or like Severi is. Severi slowly but surely getting up there in the points, as well as you might probably seen in the previous episode. Turnbull managed to get into the breakaway. His attack from earlier not really resulting into a breakaway start, but it did push the peloton to chase back the other group. So Turnbull here in this first in-between sprint point, getting towards the points. He has pretty good statistics here for us today. He's been progressing on the sprint pretty well, and I'm hoping to continue this for him here in this tour. The second sprint point, not as victorious as the first one, but that is pretty okay. Still a 4-minute gap towards the peloton, so it is looking quite good for him here in this breakaway, and he does make it all the way towards the third in-between sprint point, which he also wins? Yes, he does. Just barely gets ahead here of the Lithuanian rider. 6 seconds, 8 seconds total here for him in this race. So a pretty good start for him here in this first stage of the Tour of Lithuania. Still 1 minute on the peloton, but he definitely does not make it all the way here towards the finish line. And so with 8 kilometers to go, we have our sprint train going on. Turnbull here leading out our sprint train, doing a fantastic job in the breakaway before this, so I'm hoping that these seconds will help him get a pretty good position here in the general classification. And obviously, with a flat sprint here towards the end, we want to do a good sprint and get maybe a victory here or a podium place in this stage. It is a 2.2 race, so the level is not at the same as a 1.2 race or a 2-point pro race or something similar to that. The pro teams will not be in here. It might be some development teams and some other continental teams. So we should be able to be in a good position here. 1 kilometer to go. Cole already very enthusiastically sprinting. Kral jumping from the wheel of Van Strijtem, and he does get towards the finish line here as first. A fantastic... Wow, we actually get a gap towards the other riders. First place here for Krystof Kral. Second place for Matthijs Van Strijtem. Fantastic job here by our riders. A top 2 by 2 of our riders here in the first stage of Lithuania. Turnbull ending a little bit here behind the peloton. Hopefully it will count as the same time. We'll have to see here towards the end. Either way, Krystof Kral winning the first stage of the Tour of Lithuania. Fantastic start here of this tour for us. Definitely something that we obviously want to keep repeating here in this tour. Kral here with a very poor performance in the second quarter of this year, hoping that it will pick up here in this second to third quarter for him, as he is quite behind in the points of Paul Fietzke. And obviously we want that rivalry, we want that competition here in the team between our riders. Krystof Kral is supposed to be one of the leaders of the team, but he is currently about halfway through the points of Paul Fietzke. He is in second position here. And having some points here in the Tour of Lithuania might boost him up a little bit. Obviously a 2.2 Tour will not bring him all the points that he wants to catch up with him. But, you know, it is a pretty good start to get some stage wins and maybe even get a good position here for a general classification victory. The Young Riders classification, Krystof Kral currently as first as well, and you saw there the points classification for him as well. No mountain jersey here today, as there are no mountain points in the schedule in today's stage, and I don't think there are any mountain points in this race at all, even though Lithuania is not the most, is not the flattest country in the world. It is hilly here and there. I've been there myself. It's a lovely country, and I would definitely recommend anyone going there. Fantastic country to visit, a lot of nature, beautiful country, but other than that, reasonably flat. There are some hills here and there though, so at least it's hillier than the Netherlands, I can tell you. Anyway, Kral Krystof, winner here of today's first stage here in the Tour of Lithuania. Fantastic job here by him. What does that mean for the general classification? A first place as well, of course. Joseph Turnbull, second here in today's general classification as well. And Van Strijtem ending up as fourth. Only 4 seconds behind Kral Krystof, but sadly not a third place here for him. But we are in a fantastic position here, honestly, after this first stage. 3 of our riders in the top 5, 4 of our riders in the top 10. A fantastic position here for us. 3 more stages to go, however. Can we maintain the lead here with Kral Krystof? Can we improve it with Turnbull? Or can we do something with Matthijs or any of the other riders? We'll have to see here in this second stage of the Tour of Lithuania, which has cobbles. Look at that, cobbles here in Lithuania. It should be an exciting race here for us. A lot of in-between sprint points as well again, which means some bonus seconds. We'll try and put someone in the breakaway to get those bonus seconds, and we'll obviously try to get for another victory here with Krystof Kral.
The race has cobbled sections that are renowned for testing both bikes and their riders. You've got to know what you're doing.
And we do know what we're doing. Look at the statistics today of our riders. Oh, Krystof Kral with a -2 though. So not the best for him, but many of our riders having positive statistics here today. Fantastic for our tour, fantastic for our results, I'm hoping. Obviously there's no guarantees here, but starting off with a +3 here today means that Joseph here is in a fantastic condition and ready to make some good performances here in today's tour and in today's stage, I should probably say. In the meantime, we'll prevent Krystof Kral, who's having a bit of an off day today, hoping that he'll still manage to perform well here towards the end of this stage. Turnbull gets kind of caught off guard here by an attack by these other 2 riders, still trying to get across the line here and chase them down, but gets across the line as third. Only 1 bonus second and 1 bonus point for him here in this first in-between sprint point, which is pretty okay, but you see the cooperation here, not the best. Not really riding here for each other. So towards the end of this race, we've caught up with the breakaway. You see us here with a little bit of a sprint here by Kral Krystof in this cobbled section, getting across the line here as first. 3 additional bonus seconds for him. Cole and Turnbull getting across the line as second and third. It means a lot of bonus seconds here for our team. A fantastic job here today by our team, really getting those bonus seconds already. And you see the peloton at the end here, 8 kilometers to go, broken up here, 13 riders remaining, which means our entire team is in there, and I guess 1 or 2 other teams in there as well. We have our entire team in this breakaway. 12 riders remaining. Cole sadly running out of energy, but doing a fantastic job here today, protecting our riders, pushing them forward, really breaking off these other riders from this breakaway. And we are in a fantastic position here with 4 kilometers to go, 30-second lead on the remaining peloton. I'm surprised the other riders here are not following our wheel and just saving as much energy as possible. I am in such a good position here. 2 kilometers left to go. Still 2 riders full of energy. We will sprint here towards the finish line with Joseph and Krystof. They are in a great position here towards the end. 11 riders remaining. Can we finish here as first? There is a cobbled section. Kral in a fantastic position across this cobbled section. Getting across the line here as first. Once again, fantastic job here by Krystof. Turnbull having a bit more difficulties with this cobbled section. The remainder of our team still finishing at around a 10th spot here. A great job here by our team today, breaking up the peloton. Krystof Kral finishing this second stage as first once again, extending his lead even more. Curious what this will also mean for Turnbull, or Joseph I should say, here in this tour. Second place in the general classification. Still a second place in the general classification. Congratulations to him so far. Krystof Kral extending his lead, however, to 14 seconds now on the number 2 of the general classification. Matthijs van Strijtem also doing a fantastic job here. 4th currently, same time in the general classification as the Dutch rider here. So great job here by our team. These 2 wins mean that Krystof is in first position in the points classification as well. Still no mountain jersey here in this tour, no mountain points in this stage, and again I don't think there's any mountain points in the coming 2 stages either, so that will mean that there's no mountain jersey for us or for anyone in the today's stage, and we are 3rd somehow in the team classification. Okay. Not entirely sure. I guess the team classification for today's day? I have no idea how this works. Either way, Krystof extending his lead here on Joseph Turnbull. 14 seconds now ahead of the British rider. 4th place still for Matthijs van Strijtem. Oysen Verity, look at all the spots that he's moving up. Fantastic job here by our team today. Owen Cole losing a couple of positions here, losing out after his initial push to break off the peloton. But we now again have 4 riders here in the top 10. Look at all the positions gained here today by our riders. Fantastic job. And that's why I don't really understand how we are 3rd in the team classification. But again, doesn't matter. We're still doing fantastic here. 4 riders in the top 10. 5 riders, I should say, in the top 10 even. A fantastic job here by our team. Only Owen Cole here, or Cole Owen I should say. Owen Cole, my bad, is outside of that top 10, but only barely. Still in a fantastic position here to threaten the top 10 even. And yeah, with 5 riders in the top 10, I don't think we have anything more to want. We are in a dominating position. All we need to do here is make sure that we secure that position even more. And with 3 in-between sprint points and bonus seconds, we might be able to do that here, so that send someone into that breakaway.
Monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining. And of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
And do we have that bit of daring? I think we do, especially here with Joseph, number 2 in the general classification. 14 seconds behind Krystof Kral. 3 in-between sprint points here today in this race, and that means that there are 9 seconds up for grabs. That doesn't mean that we need to make it to these sprint points, but you know, that's just a minor fact here, a minor thing here today. I'm sure that we will have the cooperation in this group to actually get there. But fingers crossed, either way. 9 seconds here up for grabs in this tour for us, and a downhill sprint finish here that we'll try to do our best in again with Krystof Kral. He doesn't have minus statistics for once, so that's always positive here for us. Joseph here surprising everyone with a big sprint towards this first in-between sprint point, but he gets beaten by everyone. Ay, ay, ay. Joseph, not the best job here today by him. Here into this second in-between sprint point, there is 1 rider still ahead. Still a couple of bonus seconds up for grabs here for us, and we do get those quite easily. 2 additional bonus seconds here for us, another bonus second here for Joseph Turnbull. So a pretty decent job here for our riders. Sadly didn't make it towards the finish or towards the other in-between sprint points with Joseph. And here I do a big attack by Joseph Turnbull. I don't want to exhaust Krystof Kral too much. I was hoping to make it here to across the line here and get these 3 bonus seconds, but this other rider just barely made it first. And that is okay. okay with me. 2 bonus seconds here for Joseph Turnbull. He has been riding really well, and he deserves those bonus seconds, I would say. So getting them here before Krystof Kral, who already has a decent lead, I think is pretty good. And now we are just going towards the sprint finish indeed. You see most of our riders are already exhausted. I'm really pushing them hard because I know I want to get across this little bump towards the end as first. It is a downhill section here for us. That means that we shouldn't lose too much energy here racing towards this final area with our riders. There are only 5 kilometers left. Thank you very much, commentator. You are very correct. And I'm going to try and do a perfect lead out here for our riders. As you can see here, it isn't as downhill as I expected to be. Only 1% downhill gradient on average. And it looks so much steeper downhill. I do a very early sprint here with Turnbull. He loses all of his energy relatively quickly. It is a bit cornery, and with 1 kilometer to go, I sprint with Kral from his wheel. A perfect sprint here with Krystof Kral. Perfect positioning here with our rider. Another victory here in the Tour of Lithuania by Krystof Kral. Fantastic job here by him. The rest of our riders, again, getting across the line here at around a top 20 position. 16th at the latest here with Joseph Turnbull. But another victory here for Krystof Kral. Is this the switch in his season? Is this the uptick for him here in this second to third quarter here by Krystof Kral? Performing very poorly in the second quarter here. Initially doing incredible in the first quarter, leading our team in the first quarter. Losing that top spot to Paul Fietzke in the second quarter, not really getting it back, not really performing. Losing out sprints, not getting top 5s, not even getting top 3s here, our Czech rider in today's stage. But in this tour, the Tour of Lithuania, he seems to have found his rhythm, he seems to have found his form. 3 victories in a row here in the Tour of Lithuania by Krystof Kral. A fantastic ride here for him today. Number 1 in the points classification, solidifying his lead even more. 51 points in total now there for him, and it's looking great. 23 seconds on Joseph Turnbull as well, so a really good job here by him. We are still 3rd in the team classification. It is what it is. Another first place here for Krystof Kral. 23 seconds on Joseph Turnbull. Matthijs van Strijtem still on the same time as the Dutch rider, and Florian actually moving up a spot here now. So we have 5, is it 5 of our riders? I skipped down a bit too quickly here for my own thing. Ooh, Cole Owen losing a couple more spots here, moving down to almost outside of that top 20 position. But we have 5 riders, yes we do, 5 riders here in the top 10 position. Bahrain victorious, number 1 in the team classification. You see me here checking their statistics going, how are they first? How are they first? I disagree with this rating so badly. Either way, points classification also for Krystof Kral. Number 1 in the general classification, and that means number 1 in the Young Riders classification. We have all the 5 spots in the Young Riders classification here with KoRail, so a fantastic job here by our very young team, dominating the Tour of Lithuania so far. On to the 4th stage. Can we get a 4th win here with Krystof Kral? That will be the question.
Greetings to all. Today's terrain is fairly level, so it's ideal ground for those who are good on the flat. We've got absolutely beautiful weather for this race.
Absolutely weather, at least here for us, and Krystof Kral still with a positive statistic, which is very important for him, especially if we want to get another victory here in today's stage. Another downhill sprint for us today, and as he won the previous one, I feel quite confident that he will be able to do so again. Joseph sadly with not the best statistics, so I want to try and protect him in this peloton. So I'm sending out Matthijs van Strijtem, who is in a 4th position, same time as the number 3. So I'm hoping to gain some bonus seconds with him and pass that Dutch rider quite easily in this tour and get a top 3 position here with our team. That will be the goal of today, with 2 riders of the same team, so I'm not going to try and do too much work. I want to let them exhaust themselves. They are in the same team, so they can do most of the work. And Matthijs van Strijtem here with a sprint towards this first in-between sprint point. Getting across the line is first, 3 additional bonus seconds for him. Fantastic job there by him. Really confident here in his sprint. He has pretty decent statistics, so I'm hoping that he'll just repeat that over and over again. In the end, the breakaway got caught, and you see me here in a team effort running towards that first spot here in this final section in this race, getting some bonus seconds here for Turnbull and some bonus seconds here for the other riders who have been doing incredibly well here in this tour as well. And you see me again pushing here with our riders as much as possible. I want to get across that little bump towards the end as first and get into that downhill section. Don't want to lose too much energy with our riders in this downhill section and really position our riders up front here, because a downhill sprint is always a bit tricky. There isn't too much acceleration left for us if we're already riding at 50 or 60 kilometers an hour. And if you want to at that point sprint, we're already halfway sprinting. So it's always tricky to do that from the back of a group. So we want to be in front as much as possible. 4 kilometers left to go, and we are leading out our team a bit better than yesterday. We have a bit more energy left on our riders. Turnbull, however, losing the front in this race here. You see him already sprinting. He really has a poor performance today. With 1 kilometer to go, I have a big sprint here from Strijdom and a jump from his wheel. Can he make it past the other riders? Can Kral stay in front here? Can he make it a 4th victory in the Tour of Lithuania? Yes, he can. The Tour of Lithuania is being dominated here by Krystof Kral. Fantastic job by him today. The Dutch rider here getting a 2nd place as well. That means that the efforts of Matthijs van Strijdom probably weren't as worthwhile as we thought here in the beginning, but we'll have to see what that will do for the general classification. Krystof Kral, however, 4 stages, 4 wins for him, dominating here in the Tour of Lithuania. A fantastic job by him today. As you can see here, Matthijs van Strijdom and a lot of our other riders finishing just outside of that top 10. What does that do to the general classification? Well, it extends Kral Krystof's lead here in this race. Now 30-second difference here between him and Joseph. Van Strijdom losing out now to the Dutch rider, 3 seconds behind him. Owen sadly losing a couple of positions as well, or losing a position here as well. Now in the top 20, albeit barely. And we still have 5 riders here in this top 10, so we're still very well positioned. It's just a couple of Dutch riders basically splitting us here in this tour in the general classification. Still 3rd in the team classification somehow. On to the last stage. Can we make it 5 for 5 with Krystof Kral? He has been dominating. He has been incredible. I don't think he'll lose his leader's jersey, but we obviously want to try and get that 5th win with him.
The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton. It is under a bright sun that today's race will be run.
Exactly, a very flat stage once again. The Tour of Lithuania loves its in-between sprint points, as you can see. Really, again, another 3 here on the line for them. Do I want to attack here with Matthijs van Strijdom? Of course I do. He still is only 3 seconds behind the number 3 in this tour. That means that we can still get a top 3 that is just KoRail, and that is exactly what we want to achieve here today. So I send out Matthijs van Strijdom here to try and get into this breakaway and see if we can get these in-between bonus seconds here in this race. If he can get away for longer, that would be great, but I don't expect the breakaway to make it all the way towards the end. In the meantime, we'll obviously defend Joseph and Krystof here in the peloton, and we'll see how we'll do here towards the end. Last 9 kilometers, I guess the breakaway didn't do much. I don't really remember what happened with the breakaway here in this race. I'm hoping that Van Strijdom got plenty of points here in these in-between sprint points, but I genuinely cannot remember it. My apologies for that. It's been a while since I've edited this video and then now do the voiceover for it. But it is what it is. 6 kilometers left to go. We have our breakaway going. Van Strijdom sadly not with the best statistics today, but that is okay with me. He's been doing incredibly well in this tour as well. He has been a great sprinting supportive rider for us as well in general. So great job here by him. Doing the lead out here now with the last 4 kilometers to go. Hoping to position our riders properly in this final sprint. It does seem to be a bit cornery, and we do want to be away before these corners happen. So a big sprint already here by Joseph Turnbull. 1 kilometer left to go. Krystof Kral jumps from his wheel. Can he get in front of these other riders? Can he make it 5 for 5 in victories here in the Tour of Lithuania? Yes, he can. Kral Krystof jumping here towards a 5th victory. A dominating performance here in the Tour of Lithuania. An incredible job here today by him. solidifying the lead, solidifying his victories once again here in this tour. Fantastic job by him. The rest of our riders finishing a little bit later in a top 20 position here in this stage. So a pretty good job by the remainder of our riders. But Krystof Kral dominating the Tour of Lithuania. A 5th victory here for him today in this tour. Is this the turnover? Is this the turnaround here for Krystof Kral? We'll have to see here in other races. The general classification you see here, yes, Van Strijten, fantastic job here, getting plenty of bonus seconds so he can move past the number 3 rider here. A top 3 for KoRail in the Tour of Lithuania, a dominating performance here by KoRail in this tour, in this fantastic tour, a flat tour, perfect for our sprinters, and that is what we've proven here today in this race. Krystof Kral also gaining the points jersey, obviously winning 5 races out of 5, dominating here, and that means also a dominating lead in the points jersey. The Young Riders classification, obviously also a victory for Krystof Kral, being a young rider and showing how good he is here in today's stage. And we end up 3rd in How do we end up 3rd in the team classification? I don't understand, but, you know, it is fine. We get literally everything else. I'm fine with ending up 3rd. It is what it is. 5 victories here in this tour for Krystof Kral. I'm hoping that his dominating performance of this tour will set on in the other races in the remainder of this season. Can he make it past Paul Fietzke, who has a commanding lead in the points here? We'll have to see towards the end of the season. The lead, Paul Fietzke with twice the amount of points of Krystof at the moment, so we'll have to see how he performs the remainder of this episode and the coming episodes, and see if he can make it past Paul Fietzke, or if Paul Fietzke will continue his dominating performance here in this team. Either way, a fantastic result here by KoRail. Top 5 also just for us in the Young Riders classification. A dominating performance here in the general classification as well. Bahrain victorious development team with a number 1 spot here in the team classification, so congratulations to them. You see me checking out, where are these riders? How well did they do that? They've done apparently better than us. It is what it is. A cool one in moving up in the end also to a 17th spot, and we dominate here with 5 riders in the top 6. Just the 1 rider here splitting our team apart. The remainder of our riders doing an incredible job here as well. Again, 5 riders in the top 6. I don't think we could have done any better. A top 3, that is just KoRail. Perfect here by our team. Let's quickly move on to the Tour de Gyeongnam, a Korean race, a race that we want to perform in. It is an important race for us as a Korean team, as are all Korean races. And we brought Paul Fietzke, the number 1 rider in our team, the number 1 classified rider here in this race as well. Let's see if he can make that happen.
It's an undulating route, so it will be a tactical race. The race will take place in beautiful weather conditions.
Beautiful weather conditions here by our team, and as the race is quite hilly, you see I also brought Jae Hwan-jun here, our mountain rider, as well in this tour. He doesn't have the best statistics today, but I'm hoping to bring him in the breakaway. If we can get an early lead with him here in this tour, that would be fantastic. Trying to gain here on the Japanese rider and try to get there to make sure that he gets into the breakaway. I'm sure he'll make it. He is a fantastic rider with fantastic statistics in general. A little bit of a downturn for him today, but that is okay. Other than that, we basically have an all-Korean team besides Paul Fietzke. So Paul Fietzke being the basically sole non-Korean rider here today in our team, and we want to have a good performance here with our Korean riders. That's also why I sent Jae Won-jun out here today, getting 3 additional bonus seconds already for him, hoping for him to get a good position here in the general classification, and obviously get this mountain jersey as well here in this little first mountain that we're having. It is a very difficult mountain here at the start, so I'm trying to push this Japanese rider away, trying to dominate him, as you can see here, and an easy victory in this first mountain section here for Jae Won-jun, scoring plenty of mountain points. I don't want to lose him entirely, but we do get caught up here in this second mountain point area here. So we caught up with the breakaway, sending out Jae Won-jun with a little bit under a kilometer to go to just get away here from the peloton and make sure that he gets across the line here as first, making sure that he gets a confident victory here in this mountain point classification. 12 points now for him in the best climber classification, 8-point lead here on the second rider today. So good job here by Jae Won-jun. Again, we are in a peloton here towards this final section, but you see a big split has happened in this mountain section just before. Most of our Korean riders are sadly in that second peloton that has formed. Hong here, I'm trying to make sure that he stays with this first peloton. We only have a group of 30 riders here left in this second mountain section, or in this last, in the second half here of this race. I'm trying to stick up front here with the remainder of our riders. I want to try and see if we can gain back in the total group here with the remainder of our riders, but there's a minute of a gap remaining here towards the second group. You see here this second peloton has also split up, and it's a bit tricky. I tried to organize properly here with our team to try and make sure that we pull our team back towards this main peloton. I'm hoping that they won't race too quickly, but it is a futile effort here with 6 kilometers to go. You see me pushing here as much as possible with Yu Sarang. Can we make it back here towards the front of this race? It will be a very difficult effort here for us. 5 kilometers here left to go. I'm just trying to bridge the gap as much as possible here with our riders. I want to have Jae Won-jun and Kim Hyun-suk here in a good position to try and make sure that they try and sprint as well as possible. It will not happen with still 40 seconds to go. That means that I need to place my bets here on Paul Fietzke, a mountain rider here, obviously. With a pretty decent sprint, a guy actually manages to break away here with 5 seconds on the peloton. Can we make it here towards the end? 700 meters to go. I'm already sprinting here with Paul Fietzke. What will he do here in today's stage? Will he make it towards the finish line as first? Another rider just barely moving in front of him. A second place here for Paul Fietzke in today's race. An incredibly difficult race here, exactly as the commentator has said it. The peloton and all the other riders have broken apart. Kim Hyun-suk here trying to sprint to as good of a position as possible, just outside of the top 20. Jae Won-jun following quick thereafter, and not really the race that I predicted how it would go here in today's stage. I was hoping to do a good race here with Jae Won-jun and Kim Hyun-suk, but they both finished just outside of that top 20 position. That means that they are now positioned relatively okay, but still with a 50-second gap here towards the front in this race. Paul Fietzke with 1 second behind the Belgian rider. And you see me checking out these other Korean riders that have done incredibly here in today's race. Hong Ji-won, our trusty support rider here, also in a top 20 position here in this race. Really making sure that he supported Fietzke, making sure that he got there towards the end. A pretty decent job here by Hong and Paul Fietzke. That gives Paul the best position of our team to score a good general classification here in this race, with a couple of hilly sections and hilly races left to go. But still, I'm hoping to perform well here with Jae Won-jun and Kim Hyun-suk. And this is a very flat stage here towards the end. Let's see how we'll do.
It's an undulating route, so it will be a tactical race.
A tactical race indeed, a very difficult race at that as well. So you see a lot of hilly sections here today, but at the end it is very, very flat. So this should be the perfect finish here for Kim Hyun-suk. Hoping to protect him with +2 statistics as well today, so he's performing admirably. And Yu Sarang not having the best season either, really not having his best year, not scoring any points, even though he was one of our best riders last season, really underperforming in this season, also not really growing in this season. So I'm hoping for him to prove himself here in today's race, in today's stage as well. It will be a difficult hilly section and a difficult hilly race here. But again, hoping for him to prove himself. Sadly, not really getting anywhere in the breakaway, which is totally okay with me. Not really scoring any points or any good seconds, so that's okay. getting caught here towards the halfway section of this race. And you see here a big jump by Jae-won-jun to get those mountain points very easily here, scoring another couple of mountain points here, 10 additional mountain points here for him. Yusarang actually scoring 4 additional mountain points as well. So pretty good job here today by our mountain riders, scoring plenty of mountain points in this race. And towards this last hill, I know that the race will be difficult. Again, a 90-kilometer race, so it isn't too difficult in general, but the hilly sections are exhausting for my riders. So I'm trying to just push as hard as possible here in this hilly section, trying to break away the peloton as much as I can. This has been proven to be a successful tactic in previous races, so I'm hoping to do the same here in today's race as well. You see a couple of our riders sadly falling off the pack. They have tried their best to push hard in this hilly terrain, and they have paid the price for that. Ooh, in this downhill section, you see how good Kim Young-suk is here in this downhill section, breaking apart the peloton even more. I'm sure they'll form a group back again when it gets onto the flat section, but here in this downhill terrain, they are struggling here to keep up with Kim Young-suk. So a fantastic job here by Kim Young-suk here in this second stage of the Tour of Myeongnyam. 5 kilometers left. We are closing in on the finish here of today's race. Kim Young-suk leading out Jae-won-jun and Paul Fietzke. Obviously, Paul Fietzke second in the general classification here today, so a good result with him would mean that he moves up all the way to first, and that means that we have a lead to defend, which is always the more comfortable position, I would say, than really chasing and trying to dominate other riders. 1 kilometer to go. I sprint off the wheel of Jae-won-jun, who did a good lead out. You see the yellow jersey there falling off the pack here. Can Fietzke make it towards the finish line, or is it another second place here for him? Another second place here for him. A victory here by a Korean rider in the Tour of Myeongnyam. So a fantastic job here by him today. Fietzke ending up as second here in this race once again. That should prove enough to take the lead of this race. 1 second behind the other, the lead in the general classification from the previous race. Jae-won-jun ending up as 14th in today's race as well. So pretty decent job here. Kim Young-suk also, it's mostly the same time unless there was a big gap. And as you can see, most of our riders doing pretty well in this race here today. Difficult race here, even though it was a very short one. I did not expect this to be this difficult, but the pace must have been insanely hard in today's race. In the end, Kim Jin-woong, a mountain rider, sprinting towards the victory here today. Great job here by him in this race. 23 years old, not the best potential, sadly, but a fantastic job here in today's race by him. Fietzke Paul coming across the line in second, and that means that he wins at least, or he takes over the first place here in the general classification. Jae-won-jun also moving up a couple of positions. Hong Ji-won sadly losing out here in that top 20 that he was in initially, pushing too hard in the previous section, sadly costing him that top 20 position, losing a lot of positions, but making sure that it means that Jae-won-jun is now in a much better position in the general classification. And I think that is a victory for our team in general. And let's see if we can keep getting those victories here in the next stage. Stage number 3, another hilly stage with an uphill finish. So that should be Paul Fietzke's forte. And you see him here as the favorite of today's stage.
Hello and welcome. The profile of the route is a fairly mixed bag, so everybody should find a section to their pleasing. We've got absolutely beautiful weather for this race.
Beautiful weather here today, and that is finally reflected in our riders as well. Our top riders having positive statistics. Yay! Yay! Something to be happy about. In the meantime, here we have a, honestly not a very difficult race again for us today. It's only 60 kilometers long once again. We have only one in-between sprint and mountain section as well, so it's not a big threat here for the general classification and for the mountain jersey. So I don't really want to send riders out in the breakaway. I really want to defend Jae-won-jun and Paul Fietzke, especially with this uphill finish. I want to keep their energy as stable and as high as possible towards that final finish. And in the meantime, I also don't want the breakaway to really chase away. So that's why I'm sending Yu Sarang here out in front to try and make the gap not too big for this breakaway. But again, nothing too exciting here for us. The breakaway definitely will not make it towards the end, at least that's my expectation. And we will just try to give as good of a push here in this final area and try and get the win. If other riders want to get some bonus seconds and bonus points, I'm happy for them to do so, and they can, you know, have maybe an extra jump here in the general classification here with these bonus seconds. On to the last 10 kilometers here in this stage. You see we already have Yusarang extremely depleted here. He is really not having a fantastic season all year, so it's really a disappointment how he's performing. But we have plenty of riders remaining, thankfully, that can perform well here in this third stage of the Tour de Gyeongnam. Again, an uphill finish, and you see that it just goes up from here. It isn't super steep for us, so it should be quite beneficial for our hill riders. They shouldn't lose too much energy, especially Kim Sung-bom here, who is our mountain helper specialist, kind of, right? He shouldn't lose too much energy here in these uphill finishes and uphill terrains, and should be able to deliver our team quite well while pushing other teams to their limits. That's kind of what I want. That's kind of what I want to happen. So trying to push on here as quickly as possible now. 2 kilometers remaining. I have so much energy left, so I do a big push here with Hong, and then I kind of want to let the decision fall between the 3 riders. 1 kilometer remaining. Let's see who will sprint towards a victory here. Will it be Paul Fietzke, Kim Hyun-suk, or Jae Hwan-jun? We are leading the pack quite clearly here. Who will win this final sprint? It will be Jae Hwan-jun here, our Korean mountain rider, finishing as first here in the third stage of the Tour de Gyeongnam. Paul Fietzke ending up as third, and the second place here for Kim Hyun-suk. Fantastic little lead out by him. In the end, also securing a second place here in today's stage. Good job, guys. A top 3 here in the third race of the Tour de Gyeongnam. A fantastic job here by Hwan-jun Jae. Hopefully also moving him upwards here in the general classification with those additional bonus seconds that are included in a victory here in this stage. Onto the general classification, or onto the stage win here today. You see a top 3 here by our team. Obviously that means that we get all the points and all the mountain points in the end as well. Kim Sung-bom here and Ju Sarang finishing a bit lower, but that is okay. They really gave it their all to make sure our team finishes towards that front step, towards that top step of today's race. Paul Fietzke keeping his lead quite secure. The rest of our team not really moving upwards. You see Yu Sarang even losing a couple of places. Hong moving up slightly, and I expected Jae Won-jun to move up quite a bunch here today, but still somehow in 17th position, 48 seconds behind Paul Fietzke. 10 seconds now to a gap towards the number 2, and with this very short race of only 35 kilometers to go, I'm sure that we'll defend our top step here with Paul Fietzke. Let's do our best to make sure that it's so.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining, and of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
So a very interesting race, I would say, here. Only 35 kilometers in total. That means we can almost start our sprint train already. You already see me setting it up slightly, making sure that we have our sprinters ready and our team basically already in a line. I don't want a breakaway to form here. I don't have the interest in chasing down a breakaway, especially if they get 2 or 3 minutes. They might already make it all the way towards the end. So you see some riders trying to escape here. They know the threat towards my team. They know the threat in general towards the rest of the peloton. The rest of the peloton, however, seems hell-bent on making sure there is no breakaway today as well. They recognize the threat as well. So skipping forward to those last 10 kilometers, obviously no breakaway existed and we kept on the front already. Yu Sarang leading out basically for 20 kilometers, making sure our team is on front, and now we basically finished the last kilometers here with a full-on assault by our team, making sure that we end up in the prime position once again here in the Tour de Gyeongnam. Again, a very flat race, a very short race, so it should be perfect for the sprinters. Their legs should be totally fine here, and they should shape up to do well here in today's race. We just need to make sure that we are up front, and you see the amount of teams here challenging me for the victory here today. There's a lot of teams here that really want to achieve a victory, achieve a good result here in this tour. It's very important for a lot of teams here to do well, and they have plenty of opportunities to do so here in today's stage. A big sprint here already by Jae Won-jun. Paul Fietzke sadly losing Kim Hyun-suk's wheel with 1 kilometer to go. It's not great for him. Paul Fietzke, can he jump from the wheel from Kim Hyun-suk? Yes, he can, and makes it past Kim Hyun-suk here towards a victory in the last stage of the Tour de Gyeongnam. An unexpected victory here by him. The 3rd place also for Kim Hyun-suk. Wow, what a sprint here by Paul Fietzke. I did not expect him to do this well here in this final stage. You saw there the challenging behavior from the teams, by the other teams here. But in the end, doing incredibly well here in today's stage, getting towards that top step of the podium once again. Unexpected, honestly. I really thought there would be other riders here that would block Paul Fietzke and take away his win and make sure that they are in front. But no, Paul Fietzke here, thankfully winning today's stage, making sure that his 1st place in the general classification is also secure. So fantastic job here today by Paul Fietzke. Congratulations to him winning the Tour de Gyeongnam. Again, I'm pretty sure this is a sponsor objectives for us. We should have gotten at least a top 3 here, I think, in the general classification of today's tour. And we got that top step of the podium. Hwan Jun-jae also winning the mountain jersey. Not much change. Even Yu Sarang getting in a 2nd position here on that initial stage, getting those mountain points and not really letting go of that 2nd spot. So fantastic job here also by Hwan Jun-jae winning that mountain jersey. The points classification also goes to Paul Fietzke, winning this last race and getting 2 or 3 second places as well. So great job here today by Paul Fietzke, getting plenty of points for that sprint jersey and that points classification. A yellow jersey and a green jersey for him, and also the white jersey as the best classified young rider as well. So 3 jerseys today for Paul Fietzke, a 4th jersey for Jae Won-jun here for our team, and we do lose out on the team classification. Again, I'm not entirely sure how that works, but it is what it is. A 1st place here by Paul Fietzke in today's race, a 3rd place also for Kim Hyun-suk, doing really well here in these last 2 races. A 2nd place and a 3rd place here by Kim Hyun-suk in these last 2 stages by him. Great job here, Kim Hyun-suk. Again, a little bit of an uphill sprint finish, and that just seems to be the forte of some of our riders. So great job here by him. Jae Won-jun also moving up a couple of spots here in the end. I'm not entirely sure how, but moving up to a 15th spot. I wish he would have ended up a little bit higher, but it is what it is. Kim Hyun-suk also moving up 2 spots here now in 23rd position. The rest of our riders obviously ending up lower in the general classification, but that is okay. There are our support riders making sure that we achieve what we wanted to achieve, and that has happened. Obviously, I wanted to do a little bit better here with our Korean riders, but after that 1st stage, it was already very difficult. Paul Fietzke was in the prime position to win this tour, and thankfully he dragged that victory across the line for us here in this tour. We achieved what we wanted, and that is the top step here on the podium by Paul Fietzke here in the Tour de Gyeongnam. A fantastic job here by our German rider. Now on to this 2-day Chinese stage tour.
One and all. Today's terrain is fairly level, so it's ideal ground for those who are good on the flat. We've got absolutely beautiful weather for this race.
2 flat races here for us today, and you see we have Paul Fietzke and Krystof, the 2 main competitors here in our team together in today's race. We'll have to see how they'll do here. Obviously, a victory in the general classification is on the line as well if we do win here in the races and in the 2 stages. It's very weird to see a 2-day stage race just in general. So I'm interested to see how this will go and how this will end up. Fietzke here with fantastic statistics. Krystof Kral sadly not as good today. But, you know, he has been, or as we've seen in the Tour de Lithuania, he has an uptick of performance. So I'm hoping to see that here today as well. I'm trying to get away here with Yon. Trying to get some good results here with our Korean riders. He has been performing pretty okay, I would say. He hasn't been riding the races that he really wanted. He hasn't been performing in those races as he really wanted. He's become more of a support rider as well for us. And here, the winner of last year's national jersey, just trying to perform again in this year, but it seems to be a bit tricky for him. He's just even trying to very actively get away, but his energy is so low, and in the end, I just kind of give up and let it happen. It is what it is. We are not getting into this breakaway here with Jon, sadly. The breakaway has been caught just before the third in-between sprint point, and you see my entire team trying to sprint for it, trying to gain as many bonus seconds as possible. We have a lot of our sprinters here today, and everyone wants to perform, and everyone wants to achieve something here in this two-day Chinese stage race that we have going on right here. Looking really good here, honestly, for Kral, Krystof, and Paul Fietzke, getting those initial bonus seconds already. And yeah, everything's looking pretty decent here for our team. 8 kilometers, exactly, 8 kilometers here now before the finish. Everyone agrees that this will be won in a sprint. I think everyone wants that as well with these two flat stages that we have in this race. Heyo starting the lead out of our team. Really pushing us forward, really getting us into that top position here. Doing a fantastic job here in today's race. 4 kilometers remaining. We have so much energy left on our riders. They're looking really good and really strong here today. Again, it is just a flat race. There's no hills, so this is really the terrain for them. A little bit under 3 kilometers remaining. I decide to sprint here with Kim Hyun-suk. Less than 2 kilometers. I do a big sprint here by Fietzke, and Kral Krystof jumps on his wheel with off his wheel with 1 kilometer to go. Can he make it here towards the end? No, no, Kral, your start of this episode was so good. Oh, he doesn't even make it to the 3rd place. No, and our rivals, our internal rivals here with Rory Townsend and Blake Quick getting across the line as 1st and 2nd. Krystof Kral getting across the line here as 4th. Not even a podium place here for him in this race. He was looking so good in the Tour of Lithuania, and now he's just losing to these other riders. I was really expecting for him to do a little bit better here in today's stage. But it is what it is. Paul Fietzke getting across the line here as 7th or around 7th as well. The bonus seconds moving up to 7th at least. Kim Hyun-suk currently in 9th place as well. So 3 riders here in a top 10 position. 10 seconds off the lead, spread out throughout all of them. So 1 victory here in our team should move us forward. But it will be a battle with Rory Townsend and Blake Quick, who are in form and are performing extremely well. So congratulations to them. Let's see if we can beat them here in this 2nd stage.
Today's terrain is fairly level, so it's ideal ground for those who are good on the flat. The race will take place in beautiful sunny conditions.
The conditions are beautiful once again, and you see here Paul Fietzke with fantastic statistics once again as well. He really has been in form this entire season. Not really doing as well in the 1st quarter as you saw here, where Kral Krystof was just dominating everything, but the 2nd quarter has really been Paul Fietzke's quarter. He has been performing, he has been winning so many races, scoring so many points where Kral Krystof was behind. So we'll have to see here that if Kral Krystof can make that turn around here in his form. He already won in a very dominant fashion the Tour of Lithuania. Can he do the same here in this Chinese race, the final race of today's episode? Can we make it here onto that top step? Less than 10 seconds off the lead here, so we're hoping that we can make it. Again, cutting back to the last in-between sprint point, we are here up front. 3 seconds here for Kral Krystof, 2 for Fietzke, and 1 for Kim Hyun-suk. Fantastic job here by our team. Heyo losing the peloton. No, Heyo, you have to come back. We need you for these last 10 kilometers. We need you for the sprint train, which will be very important. But Heyo has used so much energy to try and catch back up to this race, to this peloton here, which is kind of a waste of his energy, but it is what it is. Again, this episode will definitely end in a mass sprint. That is what the stage is for. Very flat race here again, with 6 kilometers left to go. We have plenty of riders here in our lead out train. They are performing magnificently. I just hope that they can get a victory here, or get a podium here, and that should propel them all the way forward here towards that top step. That's what we're counting on. Oh no, the other riders here in the peloton moving past Kim Yeon-suk. He's losing so many positions. We have 3 kilometers left to go. Kim Yeon-suk, move all the way forward, please, please, please. Paul Fietzke losing a lot of his energy trying to catch up to Kim Yeon-suk's wheel. 1.5 kilometers to go. I do a big sprint here with Paul Fietzke. Can he stay here out front? 500 meters to go. I do a big jump with Krystof. Yes! Yes, he's got this, winning the last stage here in this Chinese tour. Fantastic job here by Krystof, beating Rory Townsend and Blake Quick, who are ending in around the top 10 position. Krystof, winner of the last stage here in the Yellow River Estuary. A race, again, that is very strange. 2 days of racing, which means that there is a general classification to fight for in these 2 races. That there are 2 podiums to fight for in these 2 races. We got a 4th place in the previous race, but here Krystof Kral proving his strength, winning once again here in this last race and winning the general classification as well, ending up 9 seconds in front of Rory Townsend. So a win here by Rory Townsend would obviously ruin our chances, but even a 2nd or a 3rd place probably could have, not really stopped us here. In the end, Krystof Kral also winning the points classification thanks to those bonus points and those bonus in between seconds that he's gotten. So a fantastic job here today by Krystof Kral. Paul Fietzke ending up in the top 10 in this points classification as well. I'm curious where he ended up in the riders classification. Obviously a victory here for Krystof Kral, and we are nowhere to be seen in the team classification. So, oops. 6th place here in today's stage as well for Paul Fietzke. Fantastic job here by him. Not really winning, but still a good job in his positioning. A 1st place here for Krystof Kral, moving up 4 places all the way to 1st place. Paul Fietzke ending up in a top 10 position, sadly losing a place to one of the Chinese riders, but still a great job here by him. Yon and the remaining riders ending up in a top 30 top 40 or lower position. But 3 of our riders here, with Kim Yeon-suk here in 12th as well, in a top 15 position. Great job here by our team today, and another victory here for Krystof. Let's quickly move on to our total points. We are already over the 3,100 points, so we're moving up very quickly. Paul Fietzke still in 1st place. Krystof Kral, however, getting like 6 victories or 7 victories in one episode. So fantastic job here by Kral, but obviously Paul Fietzke in the Tour de Gyeongnam fighting back and making sure that he did not lose his top spot here once again to Krystof Kral. Kim Yeon-suk moving up a bunch of places as well, now already on the right half, not last anymore. So great job here by Kim Yeon-suk, also in the previous episode and also in today's episode, really scoring a lot of points here for us, even though he has had a very poor 1st quarter of the season. Very similar to Paul Fietzke. Also gaining more momentum and really gaining more spots and victories and 2nd places and podiums here for our team. So congratulations to Kim Yeon-suk as well here in today's episode. 2 episodes in a row where he's been performing quite well. What does this mean for the points per rider? As you can see here, a big jump upwards by Krystof Kral, but also a jump upwards by Paul Fietzke. Severi sadly not in the best form, so he hasn't raced any races in today's episode, meaning that he will stay quite stable. But Krystof Kral moving upwards, slowly edging closer to Paul Fietzke, closer to the points that Paul Fietzke has, and he's still quite some off, at least 300 points off of Paul Fietzke, but he's making that jump upwards, making sure that he reduces the gap towards him, and hoping to challenge him surely at one point. So sorry for my blabbering today. It's been a long episode and I've been recording a lot these last few weeks, so I'm starting to feel that in my throat and in my vocal cords and everything else, and this is also just blabbering. But still, I hope that through this blabbering, you've enjoyed today's episode. Fun races here again, a lot of 2.2 races, and I'm hoping again to get better riders for next season, to start challenging ourselves, to also ride more difficult races, and to perform better in those races as well. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you always for the support. If you have any improvements that you want me to make, please let me know in the comments below. Hope you like the new graph and the new overview for the points, and hopefully it gives a bit of a good overview on how the riders are doing. If you have any comments or questions or other things, please let them know in the comments below. Hope you look forward to the next episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.